President Gallagher, everyone. Please join me.
Hi, everybody. This is kind of bittersweet. You know, Robert is an absolute force. The work that he's done at the foundation here at LA City College is, I know it's well beyond what anyone imagined could happen. There's little doubt in my mind that Robert always knew he could do what he was able to do, but I was able to work closely with him for over 4 years. And I want to share with you something that I haven't shared with Robert in the years that we've worked together. But when I first started at LA City College, and I remember I told Robert this, and I don't know if you remember that I told you this, Robert, it was probably in my second week here, that the two things that I was not sure that I would want to do as a college president was to do all the work with all the political people that you have. I hope there's not a lot of politicians here because I might offend them. But, you know, to do all the work you have to do with politicians and whatnot, I just didn't think that was going to be something I was very good at. And the other thing was raising money. And I didn't think that I would be able to ask people for money. And so what Robert did was he took that and he made sure that immediately he had me meeting with the elected officials around. He set up meetings. He came to the meetings. I didn't even know what to do. I'd be on the way to a meeting, say, I don't even know what to say. And Robert was always just so kind and helpful. And you don't know this, but it made the world of difference for me. I came here as an interim president because I didn't know if I would like the job. And you helped me love the job. And I really appreciate that because it was the two things that I was unsure about, and you helped to shore up for me. So I owe you a lot, Robert, a lot. And I really appreciate the opportunity to have worked with you and to be alongside of you for part of this journey. And what you've done for this college and what you will continue to do for this college is, I know, an absolute labor of love. Robert attends everything. He participates in things. He gets to know students. He gets to know faculty. He gets to know staff. So it's not just the senior staff that he knows, it's all the staff. And a testament to that is all of the people who RSVP'd for this event today. So I know it's warm and people don't want to stand around too much, but I really just have to say that there are not a lot of people that you meet in your life who make a huge difference to what you do with your life. And Robert, you're absolutely one. I just so appreciate you. I really am happy that you're going to be still actively involved with the foundation board because we need you for that 100 million by our 100th anniversary. Thank you, Robert, and thank you for everything that you've done and will continue to do.
Thank you, President Gallagher. So as everybody, Robert's partner, Debbie Schwartz, if she would come up and say a few words on behalf of the family.
Hi, I'm Debbie, and I can't really read my notes, so I'm going to do my best here, okay? I was thinking about this yesterday. We've been married 41 years, and some of my kids are here today too. I'll introduce in a minute. And I say to myself, there are people who have jobs and people who have careers, but there's only a lucky few who can change the world, one student at a time. That is you, my friend. I have been lucky enough to watch Robert do just that for 10 years. Students in need, money that's required, rules that needed changed, money to be raised, and lives to enhance. You have done that with respect and gratitude and appreciation from everybody here, on behalf of myself, my older son Carrie, my daughter-in-law Courtney, Alexandria, who's part of our family, my brother David, and my sister-in-law Nanette, we love you, and we are very proud of you, and we are so happy you are the new board chair of the LA Foundation.
Thank you, Debbie. So many of you may know that Robert has now gone full circle. He started with the LA City College Foundation Board. He was on the board as a member, actively involved, and when the ED position became vacant, I think they kind of wrangled him into it. And he stayed for a decade, and now he's returned. So he's back to the board, he's our board chair, we're very excited, and he's one of the main reasons that I came here. And so now, on behalf of the LA City College Foundation Board, I would like to ask board member Alex Schwartz to come forward.
The LACC Foundation Board at the celebration of Robert Schwartz and his many achievements on behalf of LACC students. And you all know that one quality that Robert has in abundance is indeed enthusiasm. And his enthusiasm for LACC has a multiplying effect. That's one reason that during Robert's tenure as LACC Foundation Executive Director, the Foundation's endowment went from $5.1 million to almost $50 million. How did he do that? Well, his technique was deceptively simple. Robert would invite a distinguished alum or prominent person of means to campus, show them around, wax enthusiastic about all the wonderful and essential work that's done here at the college. And the visitor's heart would just be filled with good, warm feelings and generous feelings about LACC. And of course, their wallets would be much lighter after their visit here. Then he would just give all that money to the students, or a lot of it, in the form of for computers, rent, food, scholarships. And this includes $10.1 million from the Herb Alpert Foundation, providing scholarships and opportunities for music students. That was 10.1. $2 million from the Hollywood Foreign Press, providing scholarships and program support for cinema students. $1 million raised to fully fund the STEM endowment, which matches completing a challenge match from the LACC Title III. Robert's other major achievements include his work developing a beautiful sculpture garden in partnership with acclaimed art dealer Carl Schlossberg, as well as donations from artists such as Marlene Lockheim, who recently donated her second major piece to LACC. It was installed and dedicated just last week. Thank you. I could go on, but that's the multiplying effect of Robert's enthusiasm. Now, as a good executive, Robert enlists other people to help realize his vision. People like Alan Daniels, marketing guru, who can't be here today, as well as so many of you who are here in the audience celebrating with us. I first worked with Robert when he asked me to write a tagline for the college. And I presented many lines, but Robert immediately zeroed in on the best one, LACC, the city's college, which brands this institution to this day. Well, then I pitched the idea of light pole banners all across the campus celebrating our students and alumni. And to my surprise, Robert greenlighted that too. Much more importantly, he made it happen. Robert Schwartz makes it happen. Now Robert has stepped down as executive director, but as you all know, he was just elected president of the board. So he'll continue his work on behalf of LACC students. Robert, can you come up here, please? Because we all know that the city's college is really Robert Schwartz's college. Would like to present you with this symbol, with a symbol of our affection and gratitude.
Okay. Wow, this is great. It's a nice day, isn't it? So I want to thank everyone for being here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. You know, we talk a lot in terms of how much money we raise, and it's really not about how much money you raise. It's how you spend it and what you're spending it for. So I thought, without really going through a major list, it's a good way for me to thank some people along the way here. I just thought I'd mention some of the things which I was just going to joke and say now I don't have to speak because Alex just said everything. But I thought I would just run through a few of the things that we've done. Some of them you all know about, some of them are not as well known. We obviously have created some pretty major endowments for cinema and theater and music and art, for STEM through this matching grant that Alex just mentioned. Psychology, the lecture hall in Holmes Hall right over here is named for a very generous donor who gave us $500,000 for the psychology department. A recent gift that we got for business and entrepreneurship, and for Guardian Scholars, which was started, I guess it's now 12 years ago. Where's David? Where are you, David? There you go. David Ambrose, my predecessor. Raise your hand, David. David did an amazing job, and I do have to say that I've told David this, and I don't know if you ever believe me when I tell you I tell people this, but now you're sitting here. It's one thing to start something from scratch. It's much tougher. It's much easier once the wheels are rolling or turning to have them turn faster. It's just a much easier thing. And David left me when I was on the board. He's the one who recruited me to the board after a very bizarre city council race that I was engaged in. That resulted in me being here and Paul Koretz being on city council. But I'm not sure which is the better of it. But David did start, among other things, he began the Guardian Scholars program here at City College, and we've actually got two major donors here, Sterling Franklin and Milton Debbie Valera. Where are you guys? There they are. I want to thank you for your contributions, continuing contributions to that program. It's an incredible program that, frankly, when I told David this, when I first stepped foot in this campus, it's when David recruited me to be part of the board. I'd never been here before. And he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I guess I could help. I mean, how much money you got? $4.5 million or something like that? Yeah, I think I could probably help. The bar seems like to be in a good spot for me." So that's where this whole thing got launched. But there's two programs that we've started at the foundation. Guardian Scholars is one of them, and the other one, which I'll mention a little later, is President Scholars, which are for kids that are coming out of high school with literally not just a straight A average, but this new thing where you have a 4.6 or whatever it is. But I mean, these are real, truly gifted students that we managed to recruit here at City College. But we've also facilitated gifts for the journalism department and the Collegian, which is our school newspaper, if you don't know. For the Office of Special Services for students out of hearing and visually impaired students. The Ralph Bunch Scholars Program, which is our honors program, which I was happy to actually bump into a friend down in the desert who just happened to have his house in the same place where my house was, and he runs a fairly large foundation, so that resulted in several gifts to the Ralph Bunch program. We were able to fund the study abroad program for several years, which had been just sort of, I'm not sure if there was a study abroad program before we got involved, but we managed to do it at least for a few years with students who, you could talk to LA, and now they were flying off to Madrid for a month or so. It was mind-altering for those students. We created the first STEM lab here at City College, which we actually got in trouble for because we then installed the director of the STEM lab, which we weren't actually supposed to be doing as the foundation. But that's another story for another time. And I had a group of students come to me several years ago and say, we're the garden club here, and we'd like to create a community garden. And from that discussion, Martha Pleo, who's our former director of Foundation and Government Relations, who's here, came in and we said, okay, let's get money for this. I think this sounds good. Let's do this. So we got Children's Hospital came aboard as our partner, and that garden is out on the opposite end of the campus right now. And it's really incredible what they've been able to do there. We were able to fund Intramural Athletics. The math club, Bin Lee is our professor, who's been very involved with the math club and the math contest. And we do, reference was made to this, but we do have one of the top math teams in the United States, I'd say, right? Among community colleges. We're really proud of that. We've been able to help out nursing and health sciences. The nursing students, who I believe are, they're so valuable based on that profession. They would come into us. We have a book program every semester. We give out money for students to be able to afford their books, because if you don't know, books are more expensive than the actual attending of classes at a community college. So that it became actually a running joke that Christiana Bhaskaran's students would come running into us, and they would, in flocks, they would come in, and by the time they got done, there was hardly anybody left for the rest of the students on the campus. Because my feeling was, if you're a nursing student, you automatically have to get whatever our max is that we give out for books. We've now adjusted that, which I'll get into, so that now we're giving out books to literally thousands of students. But we were able to help the veterans on the campus. There's a Dream Resource Center on the campus for undocumented and DACA students, and we were able to provide them with a great deal of money to make sure they were able to do the programs that they were doing and make sure that these students had the support that they needed. And as was mentioned, the sculpture garden, which Carl Schlossberg, who's here, Carl, wave, Carl, and Marlene Lockheim, who's sitting next to Carl, who's an amazing alumna of this school, and just an amazing person. And we were lucky enough to install and dedicate her latest gift to the college last week, which I invite you right through the breezeway by the art gallery. It's a really incredible piece, so we thank you for that. But we've also created an Endowed Book Club speaker series, an Endowed Investigative Journalism speaker series. We created an Endowed Travel Fund because we were always getting calls from professors saying, I need to bring my students to this place or that place. So I said, well, we have some extra money. Let's create an Endowed Travel Fund so we have some money and students need to go places. Probably our biggest thing that we've been doing the last couple of years is our Emergency Support Fund, which addresses the basic needs of the students on the campus. And COVID really brought that to the forefront. And I'm really pleased to say that, where's Darren? Darren Lynn, who, there she is in the doorway. But Darren Lynn in our office, I want Darren to get a big round of applause because Darren runs this. And we do programs called Food for Thought and midterm and final meals. Guess what? We've studied this now. When students eat before they take their midterms and finals, they do better. It's an incredible thing. But we put money in for that. And our food pantry, which was going right up until the pandemic hit, we were serving a couple thousand people a week. And now our e-grocery gift cards. Hoffman, who's not here, has been the board chair for a couple of decades. We're going to have term limits going forward. But he did an incredible job of really taking this thing. I think we had $80,000 at one point when Marv started. And I think they invested it in something where they lost half the money. I think the faculty was ready to take them out and hang them over a pole someplace. But we've been able to now take that and really become one of the most powerful foundations among community colleges in the state and probably in the country. So we're really proud of that. But as I said at the outset, we're really most proud of what we've been able to accomplish in terms of the support that we give to the students. Because frankly, they deserve it. They're an amazing group of people. So we're going to keep it up, and I really thank you all for being here today, and we'll keep pushing forward. So thank you all very much.
We have staff taking photos, so we hope you'll do lots of poses with Robert. If you're here in a government official capacity and have a proclamation, we'd like to get a shot of you doing that as well. And then just as a fun aside, over 14,000 students receive scholarships and support in the 10 years that Robert has been executive director. So thank you again, and this concludes our formal program.
Turn that off. Wait, turn it back on. This is the danger of speaking contemporaneously. So I could not have done any of this without the best staff of any foundation anywhere. So I just want the staff just to kind of, well actually, why don't the staff come up here? Martha, you too. Come. This is Sylvia and Jessica, and Martha was with us until she abandoned ship a few months ago. But Martha was with us for 5 years, and she was fantastic. And Darren and Helen and Kevin and Lisa. So, what am I missing? Oh, and Elizabeth. You're over there. So, these guys are absolutely incredible, and the work that any executive director does, as Lisa's probably already discovering, it happens because of them. It's really not us. We're just the ones out there talking. But they're the ones who really are doing in the trenches work, and I just wanted to make sure I recognize them before we do anything else today. So thank you again. Oh, they've seen me play, obviously. That's a life. That's exactly right. That's great. That's great.